and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. I thought we'd do something possibly a little bit different this evening. We're going to join the Norseman Festival of Climbing. It is just approaching 8 p.m. in the UK here, so this is getting on for a little bit late for me. I normally like to be done around now, or at least, you know, halfway done. And so the Festival of Climbing, I'm not entirely sure what this is going to involve. But I have a feeling it basically just means that when we run, we are going to be encouraged to use the incline on the treadmill to start doing some elevation. Lucky for me, I have a treadmill which does broadcast the elevation changes on the treadmill directly into Zwift, so I do get the credit for the climbing I do. If you don't have a treadmill that broadcasts incline, then you can use the Runcline app. It's been developed by one of the Facebook runners, the Zwift runners Facebook page members, Pascal, called Run Klein, and you basically pair your foot pod to the Run Klein app, and then you pair the Run Klein app to Zwift, and then you can manually input the changes that you make in incline on your treadmill. It's a bit of a clunky way of doing it, but if you want to get credit for the incline that you do, that is currently the only way using a dumb treadmill. So we're going to go at about 10 kilometers an hour just to start with, and get moving. Hello if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. Chat, I'm looking at chat from all of those, Twitch, YouTube and Facebook. Actually, I haven't got the Facebook one set up. Let me just organise my Facebook chat. Hang on a second. Okay, Ryan Downey says, up we go. So I need to watch for the instructions. Some people have gone off like crazy. I am taking this one very easy today. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to ask me about Zwift or about running or about anything at all within reason, then I am very happy to answer. I cannot answer any questions about how to brew beer. I know very little about training horses and almost nothing about cooking in general. But most other things you can ask me questions about and I'll be happy to answer. As has become the norm, I am wearing my 2 Stride foot pods, uncalibrated. Stride 1 is connected to my phone, and Stride 2 is connected to Apple TV, which I can show you now. So there's Apple TV, there is Stride number 2, and he's a little way behind me already, bless his heart. And if we don't get any dropouts from Stride number 1, we are finding that Stride number 1 is the most accurate, uncalibrated. So Stride number 1 is my old Stride foot pod, the non-wind version. Stride number 2 is the new wind version, and that always seems to be slower than Stride number 1 on Zwift. However, Stride number 1 recently has been suffering a lot of technical Bluetooth dropouts, so has actually been finishing behind by a long way just because of the dropouts. Paul Carter says, good evening, Mr. C, have a good one. Thanks, Paul. And Ryan Downey, yeah, it is the same Norseman kit from last year. So if you're looking to take part in one of the Norseman events, but you also did it last year, then you probably already have the Norseman kit in your garage. And I'm taking it very smoothly. So this current pace will get me through 10k in 1 hour. Very, very relaxed pace. So welcome along, we are running round Watopia, the imaginary Zwift world. Plenty of other worlds on Zwift. New York, London, Innsbruck, France, Paris. But we don't have anything quite as exciting in the real world as we do in the imaginary world of Watopia. And hopefully we're going to show you a little bit of that today. Now, are we supposed to be... There's no instructions on screen as far as I can see. And it's 1% incline at the moment. I'm not doing that on my treadmill. Am I supposed to be? Is it supposed to be giving me instructions? I'm tempted to ask the question. We're not in workout mode, are we? No, we're not in workout mode. It says for extra credit, yeah, Leslie, extra credit, change your treadmill to match the incline shown on the screen. But we're not in workout mode, so obviously there wouldn't be any instructions, would there? So, Right, Tina Beard says, and Leslie says, for extra credit, this was on the instructions. So when you sign up to the race, or when you sign up to the run, it was on the instructions and it said, for extra credit, change the incline to match the map. Or change the incline to match that shown on the screen. So when it said shown on the screen, I thought it was going to give us instructions. But no, it's talking about the incline in the top right corner of the map. So let me just show you this. This is not going to be quite right, but that map there shows a positive or a negative incline. And so we're supposed to be matching that. Now the problem is I can't match the negative incline, but I can probably match the positive incline if I want to. Buenaventura, hello from the rig, he says. The rig NOS. Is that what it's called then? NOS. Jeff Partridge says, just wind up the incline, Stephen, and stop loafing. Oh, God. Here we go. How did you get on last week, Jeff? What did you manage? I have to admit, I did absolutely nothing. Well, no, that's not quite true, but I didn't enter last week's one-up challenge. That's not on Zwift, by the way, that's something else. Okay, so we're not in workout mode. So there's no instructions, it's basically just do what you like. So, okay, from now on then, I will match the incline on the treadmill. How about that?
Thank you very much, that's really nice, thank you.
Right on!
Craver, Stephen Craver, thanks for the ride on. So we've already done 1 kilometre, and stride number one is not really doing too badly. Only 7 seconds behind after 1 kilometre. So I don't think then we've had any dropouts. John Shaw says, John Shaw's just messaged me on the screen there. Yeah, I am running, John, but it's fine, don't worry. So John wasn't even able to join the event, apparently. So Jeff Partridge took part in an event last week called One Up, which was a challenge to climb as high as you could in a week, do as much elevation as you could in a week. And he got as high as Mont Blanc, which is about 4,500 metres climbing. So that's not bad, Jeff. But then he says had to focus on distance because he was doing another virtual challenge, a 100-mile virtual distance run. So well done, Jeff. Jason Mitchell says good evening. Hello, buddy. Hope you're well. Sorry, we've got the overhead view. There we are, that's better. Okay, now I said I was going to match the incline. Unfortunately, I can't match the incline going downhill. That's a bit of a pain. Right, so I'm going to stay at this pace for at least another 600 metres till I get to 2 kilometres done, and then I'll bump up the pace a bit. But when we get to an incline, I will reduce the pace, reduce the speed, so we can climb the hill. Although, to be honest, it looks like the route that we're going doesn't look particularly hilly at the moment. I don't know where we're off to. I don't know what the actual route is. I know how I can tell what route we're on. Here we go. Figure of 8. Okay, the figure of 8 route. Mind you, that doesn't really help me very much, because I don't actually know what the figure of 8 route is. Oh well. So we're up to 4,408 kilometres on Zwift now. Ryan Downey says, yeah, it's not even a hilly route. So figure 8, apparently Ryan Downey knows these things a lot better than I do. So figure of 8 is not a hilly route, is that right? How silly. So the Norseman Festival of Climbing is not on a hilly route, which is a bit daft, isn't it, really? Okay, stride 1 is now 18 seconds behind, so I think we might have had a dropout or two there, because it was only 7 seconds behind just a short time ago, so it's dropped quite a lot since then. Jason Mitchell says, can you recommend a mid-range price foot pod? Really fed up with the Zwift pod. The Stride is a bit expensive. Ace Ventura's got it right, so I would suggest to you, if you can use Ant Plus rather than Bluetooth, then the Garmin foot pod, once it's calibrated, is really quite decent, but you do need to calibrate it. So if you run with the Garmin foot pod uncalibrated, it will be terrible. But if you calibrate it, it's actually pretty good. So that would be a good in-between foot pod. But the other option is, of course, the Run Stride treadmill sensor. The Run Smart treadmill sensor, which isn't a foot pod. It sits on the side of your treadmill and measures the speed of your treadmill belt. And that's a really good option. If you can set it up right, it will give you a decent reading. Thanks for the ride-ons, guys, by the way. Tina Beard says, what's going on with your HR? Yes, sorry, it's playing its usual games. Quite often it takes 2 to 3 kilometres to settle down. My heart rate is not 170 BPM. It'll be more like 155 at the moment. So hopefully in the next kilometre, you'll find it settles back down into zone 3, especially at this pace. Okay, Ryan Downey says we'll get one little hill towards the end of the 10k. Let's speed up a bit then, go to 11 kilometres an hour. I haven't actually set up a target, so I've got no kilometre markers coming up anywhere. Not to worry, we'll leave it. Shall I put my camera angles on? It's not the end of the world if we go off course, is it? He says. Might actually give us a hill if I go off course. Oh no! I've literally just pressed the keys. That's mad. I literally put my hand on the keyboard and I turned around. Okay, here we go. Camera angles on. Makes the view a bit more interesting. Let's have a look at Apple TV. So there's stride number 2. Oh, go back. Stride number 2 is in 16th position. Stride number... 15th position. Why can't I see stride number 2 on my main screen? That's interesting, isn't it? Stride 1 and stride 2. I can't see stride number 2 on my main account. Very confusing. Right, 11 kilometers an hour. Buenaventura says, how many pairs of trainers were in 4,000 kilometers on Zwift? A few. At least 4 or 5 pairs, probably 6 pairs, maybe even. I can't remember what I was wearing when I first started running on Zwift. I mean, that is 4 years ago now, so almost 3.5 years ago when we first started running on Zwift. So I've been through a few pairs of trainers since then. Aaron Goff says, hi, I met a team that was on the Amazing Race last night. Can you explain what the Amazing Race is, Aaron, please? Because I don't know what that is. So we're still looking at stride 2. There we are, back to stride 1 now. Back to me now, I mean. Yeah, definitely something not right with my heart rate, isn't there? Let me try taking it off and putting it back on again. Put it on a bit tighter. "400 kilometers with 1 pair of shoes is perfectly acceptable. Hey, I wouldn't worry about it, Ace. 400 kilometers is nothing. I'm sure I've probably run 600, 700, 800 kilometers in this pair of shoes alone. So, right behind me, stride number 1 is doing very well indeed. Only 17 seconds behind, and pace is matching very well. It's really not much slower. Stride number 2, oddly I can't actually see on my screen, but I know it's running because it's running on Apple TV and we can see it when we change to the Apple TV screen. So that is a bit odd. And we've nearly done 3 kilometers now. Going through the giant redwoods. Hopefully I won't turn left here. You never know. Oh, I am turning left. Look at that. Absolutely typical. I am turning left. I don't think we're supposed to turn left, are we? Typical. Right, I suppose we better not have better not have the camera angles on then. going to make sure we turn left going out of this tunnel here. Please turn left. Thank you. Right. Let's see what happens now.
Right on.
Harrison, thanks very much. M. Harrison, not Rob Harrison, but M. Harrison. Okay, so we're going to go up to 12 kilometers an hour in a minute. Oh no, when we get to 4 kilometers done, I'll bump it up. John Brown says, good evening, Stephen. Couple of questions. How does your treadmill calculate cadence? And what size is your TV screen? Okay, easy questions to answer. TV screen is 32 inches diagonal, so not huge, not enormous, but big enough, and I'm close enough to it that it's a nice immersive experience. I've also got another one exactly the same on my left, which displays the chat and also my streaming software. So right in front of me is Zwift on a 32-inch screen, and to my left I've got another 32-inch screen exactly the same, with chat and my streaming software, so I can make sure everything's working correctly. And my treadmill basically senses the impact on the belt. So I assume there's an accelerometer somewhere down there which is measuring each time my foot hits the belt. It's just counting a step. So even though we have 18 runners, so actually that's not an awful lot really. We've got 18 runners, and we're very spread out now. So the nearest one to me is Betancourt from Mexico, who's 21 seconds ahead of me. In terms of distance, he's actually behind me. But of course I went off course, didn't I? Right. Here we go. Elevation. John Shaw says, I'm sorry I couldn't join the run. Join event did not appear for me this time. Oh. Maybe, possibly joined a bit late, I don't know. Never mind, John. Next time. Thanks for stopping by on the stream though, thank you. Appreciate it. Right, just climbing 4% grade on the treadmill. Let me just show you that. So that's there. Still running at 11 kilometers an hour. And flattening out again now. No, not that. Right, now, having done nearly 4 kilometers, you can see my heart rate has now settled down to a more accurate reading. But we are speeding up now. 4 kilometers done, 6 to go, and we're at 12 kilometers an hour now.
Yeah, it was probably, John, it was probably one of those buggy situations where you probably joined just a bit too late for it to, and it should let you in, but it just didn't, and that can happen sometimes. Right, 12 kilometres an hour, and just catching up with Betancourt, who's on 3.8 kilometres, but like I said, we did go the wrong way for about 300 or 400 metres. Let's have a look at Apple TV, stride number 2. So stride number 2 is ahead of me. Oh, I'm just wondering, I wonder if stride number 2 and stride number 1 have accidentally got the same foot pod on. I wonder if maybe I've made a mistake and they're both connected to the same foot pod. Actually, no, they're not. No, they're not. I know they're not because stride number 2 wouldn't work at the beginning when I was testing, and I realised it was because I still had it on charge and it wasn't on my foot. Stride number 1 was working, so no, they're definitely connected to the correct foot pods. And Neil Messenger, hello buddy.
Nice.
Neil Messenger was sensible and did turn it up Tuesday. How was it, Neil? All right? I didn't look at what it was today. I thought I'd go for the easy option and go for the Norseman run. I thought we were going to be climbing some hills, but we're on an unbelievably flat route, which just seems ridiculous, to be honest. So I'll stay at this pace for the next 1.5 kilometres, and then we'll speed up again for 2 more kilometres, and then final increase of pace for the last 2 kilometres.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride on.
Thanks, Marshall. Very impressed with stride number 1 today, performing very well. Neil says that Turn It Up Tuesday was a nice steady 7.5k. Was it not an interval session? Normally an interval session, isn't it? Right, heart rate is nice and comfortable. 140 BPM at the moment. So we're doing all right. And we're approaching halfway in the Norseman Festival of Climbing, which appears to be on a completely flat route, for goodness sake. Halfway through. And so if you're new to Zwift, this is what you need to get going.
It's so easy to get set up with Zwift running. Here's what you need. Firstly, access to a treadmill. It could be at home or at the gym, but any treadmill will work with Zwift. To get you moving in game, we need a speed source. Traditionally, we use a foot pod, like the Zwift pod or the Stride, but you can also use the Run Smart treadmill sensor, your Apple Watch, one of the newer Garmin watches, the TSS app, And if you have a smart treadmill, your treadmill will connect directly to Zwift without the need for another device. Now simply download the Zwift app onto a Mac, a PC, an iPhone, an iPad, an Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. Finally, pair your speed source in the app. Pairing heart rate from your watch or a chest strap is also a great addition to Zwift. And that's it. You're all set up for solo runs, solo or group workouts, challenges and real-time racing on Zwift with people from all over the world.
So Buenaventura says that I've got a bit of a Darth Vader voice. Is that any better? And Mr. N says the same thing. So yeah, just let me know if that's any better or if it's terrible. Because it looks to me like it might be terrible. So hopefully that's better now. That's better now, I think. Fingers crossed anyway. So when I unplug the microphone, it defaults to a different microphone. Oh look, there's stride 2 up ahead. Look, there's stride number 2 up ahead of me, and stride number 1 is a bit further ahead. Only because I went the wrong way. Daniel says that's a lot better. Yeah, thank you. Cheers, guys. Right, 400 metres and then we'll speed up again. Look at that heart rate though, 136 now. We are rocking and rolling on the heart rate front. That is really nice to see, and it feels that way as well. Don't feel like I'm pushing it very much. Nice, comfortable recovery run. Just a little bit of a push towards the end. Seems ridiculous to call this a festival of climbing. Never been on a flatter run. Yeah, Ben Goran Johansson says wrong way again. Yeah, I did go the wrong way. Spent about 400 metres going the wrong way. Right, we're catching stride number 2. Stride number 1 is doing very well indeed. Not far behind me at all. I mean, it's in front of me, but in terms of speed, he's not far behind at all, really. Okay, 6 kilometres done. Let's go up to 13 kilometres per hour now. So 2 kilometres at this pace, and then the final 2 kilometres we'll bump it up to 14.
There's stride number 2. Let's cut to stride number 2 as I overtake him, shall we? So on Apple TV I'm passing to the left, on my computer I'm passing to the right. How funny. And strangely, Apple TV stride number 2 is not on my screen in the race itself. Why is it hilarious, Ryan? Are you talking about the elevation, the fact that there's hardly any elevation at all? Or am I being my usual hilarious self? Heart rate 148, so creeping up a bit now as we increase the speed. Ryan Downey says, yes, it's the elevation, but you are a funny guy. That reminds me of that joke. Now I can't remember it, but something like, why did the mushroom have loads of friends? Because he was a fun guy to be with? Is that the joke? Oh dear. I am hilarious. Johansson says, will I get the rowing when it comes to Zwift? Well, probably not, because I haven't got a rowing machine. And those Concept 2 rowers are fairly expensive, so I probably won't get one. And also, there's no room in my studio here.
Right on! Right on!
Flashberg, thank you very much. Jason Mitchell says that was terrible. You people don't appreciate quality humour. So coming up to past Matteo from Canada here. Don't expect the position in the race to change though, because I'm passing people who I was already ahead. If you notice, Matthew is on 6.6 kilometres, I'm on 6.9. So the only person I could catch is PME from Brazil, who is 2 minutes 32 seconds ahead, so it's highly unlikely. In fact, it's impossible that I'll catch them. And I'm not racing. It's a recovery run. It's a relaxed 10k. One more kilometre at this pace, and then we'll bang out the last 2 kilometres at 14 kilometres an hour. I can't do drug references on this channel, Johansson. Andrew Jackson and Simon Jones. Oh no! Camera 3 has crashed. There we go. Ryan, come on, a proper triathlon. You've got to go swimming. You can't do rowing as a replacement. But I get what you mean. And Buenaventura says, what, a recovery run? You've let me down, Stephen. Yeah, I do occasionally do slow recovery runs. Actually, I run slowly quite a lot, to be fair. Oh look, we've got a hill. 2%. Let's do 2% to see if I can keep going at 13 kilometers an hour. Okay, actually, this might be tough. This last hill climb, I might have to slow down. Oh, it's 4% now. Up to 4% elevation. So I am going to have to slow the treadmill down. Let's just get to 2 kilometers to go. 5%. Stinging the tail at the end. Well, I say the end, we've still got 2.3k to go. Okay, some of these could become tough. 6% now. I'm gonna have to slow it down, 7%. 9%. 11%. 8%. 7%. See, this is why you don't play with the incline on your treadmill when you're running on Zwift, because if you do that, you'll be changing it constantly on hills like this. Stephen Denman, hello buddy.
Nice.
Stephen, did you go out with Worthing Harriers tonight? Brent says, have you got any comments about the Garmin outage? No, not really. You know, sometimes shit happens, for example. You can't blame Garmin too much. You know, they've got so many employees. At some point, somebody might accidentally click on a malicious email. And that malicious email contains a virus. Ransomware attack in this case. So I don't think you can blame Garmin too much. I'm hoping they haven't paid the ransom fee. And I'm hoping they've basically just restored a ton of backup data. Here we go again, changing the elevation. 6% again now. 7%. 6%. think we just have to it's too ridiculous to keep changing elevation and changing pace. I'm just going to leave it. It's too much of a hassle. I can't talk to you guys, change the speed and the elevation constantly to match what's going on the screen. Stephen Denman couldn't get to Worthing Harrier's run tonight. But yeah, it'd be nice to see you one time. I don't go to a lot of them because I'm here doing this, but I do go to some of them. So I will see you then one time. And yeah, missing those park runs at the moment, yeah. Looking forward to them starting again at some point. Yeah, so back to Garmin. So I hope they didn't pay the ransom fee. I hope they just restored from all the backups that they've got. It's understandable that given the amount of data they have, it would take 3, 4, 5 days to get back online. So they are gradually getting back online now. I'm not, I don't want to throw Garmin into the fire and say they were useless and say that they should have been able to foresee something like this. Oh no! Why have they... So Johansson says his company has locked his USB port. Why have they done that? And the other thing was everybody's watches still worked perfectly well. So there was no problem with people's watches, and all you had to do was keep saving your runs on your watch. We knew that Garmin would eventually come back online, and then just upload all your runs by the normal synchronization method with your phone or plugging into your computer. Sync your phone and your watch together, your computer together, and all your runs are back online. Yeah, no, it really wasn't a big issue for me. Buenaventura agrees with me. Yeah, it's crazy. Just run flat, and or if you want to do your 1%, I don't believe any of that. But well, it's not I don't believe it. I just don't think it's necessary to run at 1%. And so you work as hard as you work, don't you? So heart rate is heart rate. So if you want to do a threshold treadmill run where you're in zone 4 of your heart rate, it doesn't matter whether you're at 1% or whether it's 0%. Just run fast enough and hard enough so you get to zone 4 of your heart rate. It doesn't matter if the treadmill's at 1% or not. And the biomechanics of it, using slightly different muscles, is neither here nor there really. You're running, that's it. You're working your leg muscles, your calves, your quads, your glutes. You're still working all those muscles, and you're still working your heart. Whether you're at 1%, 5% or 0%. Mind you, when you get up to the higher elevations, then you are using your calf muscles a lot more. And that's good if you want to do a proper hill session, a proper climbing session. Then you certainly will be working different muscles. Okay, so Johansson works at a big Swedish telecoms company. Well, I guess you can understand their concern. Yeah, you just have to make sure you upload all your runs at home and not at work. Jeff Partridge says his Garmin Connect is still not working, but he's connecting direct to Strava anyway. Yeah, that's what I did with my run on Sunday. Did a marathon run on Sunday. And I just got home, plugged my watch into my computer and uploaded the file directly to Strava.
Ride on.
Valeden, thank you very much for your ride on. So into the last kilometre now, and we are just basically cruising along now actually. I was going to do it as a hard effort, wasn't I? But we're just chilling out now really, so let's just carry on with the chill out. Bring the heart rate down, relax. No need to go crazy, no need to try and impress anybody. Yeah, Buenaventura, mine's working as well. It wasn't working on Sunday, but from yesterday, my Garmin Connect has started working okay. Let's have another look at stride number 2. So he's on 8.76 kilometers. I'm on 9.1, so 400 meters behind stride number 2. Stride number 1 is only 200 meters behind, 46 seconds. So stride number 1 has done magnificently well today. The best I've seen it perform in a long time. No dropouts, I assume. Bent, yes, I'm sure it does depend on where you're located and as to how the servers are setting up and restoring. Something's fallen off something. I heard a bang then. I don't know what fell off.
Thanks for giving my dad a ride on.
Martin Buchanan, thank you for your ride on. So, 600 metres to go of the Norseman Festival of Climbing, in which we have climbed probably all of 10 metres. A very strange route for a festival of climbing, I have to say. Very odd indeed. But there we are. So thank you very much everybody for your chat, your comments, your questions on Facebook and YouTube tonight. Johansson, yeah, I think you're right. The aviation business was probably a lot worse than the running community. Quite right. Ryan Downey, thanks for the ride on, buddy. $300 meters to go, just slowing it down now, bringing the heart rate back to normal. Oh, so we're probably finishing at the combat banner, aren't we? Ace, take care, buddy. Have fun on your... Aren't you supposed to be coming back off the rig soon? I thought it was... Today you were coming back off the rig. That's a good view. Nice helicopter view up there, looking down into the valley. And so I'm guessing we're finishing at the top here, look. This COM banner. So I suppose we have climbed this hill at the end here, but it wasn't really much of a climb. And I gave up halfway through because I was messing around with the elevation and pace far too much to bother. Oh, Buenaventura says he's got 4 more weeks. Okay. Gosh. Where did I get tomorrow from then? Or was that the other guy? Was that Louis? Was he saying he was coming home tomorrow or something? I don't know. Right, there we are. All done. 10k. Finished. Nice relaxed run. Let's drop some ride-ons to these guys. So Schultz, Christensen, LaRose, Fothergill, Holoka, Breyer, OG, Emmy from Brazil, I seem to recall, and Lucerna from Switzerland. Well done to you guys. I don't think there was anybody cheating their way there, was there? Was it Brian Schultz? B. Schultz, I recognise the name anyway, so I think he is a genuine runner, and that looks like a genuine time, so well done to him for winning the Norseman Festival of Climbing 10k, which unfortunately only included about 10 metres of climbing, but there we are. That's like, oh my goodness, that's not a shot you want to see, is it? Oh, do we need to carry on moving for Apple TV? Let's just walk Apple TV out so he gets to finish. Bless his heart. He does like to finish his runs, so. Come on. There we go. He's walking. Let's get him to the end. He's got about... Oh, he's got 400 metres left to go, though. Should we do a slow jog just to get him to the 10k? So you notice when I crossed under the COM arch there, I only had about 50 metres left. So stride number 2 has good 350 metres left to go down the hill before he gets to his finish line. Stride number 1 has finished. Oh, I've got a meeting. I've got a meeting in 2 minutes. I've got a Zwift HQ meeting in 2 minutes. I better get off the treadmill and go and do my duty as a Zwift ambassador. I've just looked at my phone and seen I've got a message saying meeting starting in 2 minutes. Okay, well we might have to knock that on the head. Or maybe we can just quickly get to the end for stride number 2. Come on. They won't mind me being a minute or 2 late for the meeting, especially if they know I was running on Zwift. 200 metres to go.
Giving my dad a ride on.
Neil Lawton, thank you very much. Oh, right through. Oh, you didn't see that, but I just ran right through a rock. on my way down the hill. So stride number 2 is going to do it in just under an hour. There we go. Right, we're all done. I've got to get out of here and go to the meeting. Right, thanks very much everybody for your chat and encouragement today, and I will see you guys all tomorrow for Wednesday, probably Wednesday workout. Take care. Yeah, Wednesday workout tomorrow. Gotta go. Take care. Bye bye.